Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Family Business Podcast. I'm Ben Timmons, and today I have Ashley and Tony with Almar
Property Management.
See, I know it's
Yes, sir.
So just tell me a little bit about Almar Property Management, a little bit about your guys' self. Whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Ash.
All right. So my name's Ashley. I am the broker and owner at Almar Property Management in Bowling Green. I have been a licensed real estate agent for 12 years. I started working for a local family-owned real estate company in Bowling Green and recently purchased Almar, and now it's on track to be a family business for us as well.
Awesome.
Tony's licensed under me. We actually met in real estate school, so
Really?
super fun. Yeah.
How long ago did you guys meet?
12 years ago.
Both got the same answer.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Well, that's because it's what it was.
That's good. I mean,
Yeah. Both decided to make some changes in life and went to real estate school, and paths crossed there.
Mm-hmm.
Both had no idea what the hell we were doing there or in life, and it worked out perfect when you had two people who didn't know what was going on.
And it
right?
took a really weird turn. Like we didn't
Yeah.
expect property management to be our future at any point. But
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
So where'd you guys go to school at for?
Hondros. Yeah, we did our real
Mommy.
estate. Yeah.
Mommy.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Our real estate.
That was the follow-up question.
Yeah, our real estate school we did in at Hondros and Mommy. What was it? 2 weeks of our 3 weeks, something like that.
What's that entail? Like, so real estate school? I've never even heard anything
You
about
don't know
it.
anything about real estate?
I don't. Well, I know a little bit, but I don't know
Not class.
the classes.
Yeah.
So, like, what's that? Like, you guys is it all death by PowerPoint, or is it? Like
No, we had a
testing?
super cool instructor for most of it. His name was Don Collins. He's still a broker in the Ohio area. Opened a couple brokerages, has worked at a lot, doing really good stuff, I think, still. And he was super awesome, kept everybody engaged. I think a lot of people at real estate school had no idea I think real estate is a very easy, life-changing path that people get into because it sounds like you're going to spend a little money to make a lot of money.
You can hang out
And
in
a little bit
houses
of
all day.
little bit of time.
Yeah, it's like a 3-week course or something, 2-week course, something like that. But I feel like they really teach you to pass the test, not to have a successful career in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
that is true.
it's tough.
And I believe that was actually part of the conversation was, we're teaching you the laws, the rules, the things within Ohio to pass the exam. Once you pass the exam, you're going to get all the experience from your broker, hopefully that you go work under, because you all had to be sponsored before you got there.
Okay.
So basically hired
you
by...
You can't just go to class there. You have to have somebody that's...
someone that's willing to take you on.
Correct. So you need to have an entry once you get out. Once you pass your exam, you need to have a company that you're going to go work for, or a brokerage, Remax, whether it's local, whether it's anything like that. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Almar Property Management. What do you guys? What's your bread and butter of the company there?
So I'm a licensed broker, so I can help people buy or sell real estate, but my primary bread and butter is managing real estate investments for individual owners. There's only a couple of companies in Bowling Green that do it. So I manage single family, multifamily, and commercial real estate I currently have last week it was 103 owners. I'm probably closer to 106 today. I've done a little bit of onboarding.
That's awesome.
And I have 415 properties, I think is my count as of today. So I manage 415 doors is what you say in real estate.
Okay.
So that's like an apartment building would have like 8 doors. So that 8 doors is included in my 415. Might be one building, but has 8 doors. That's 8 units.
And a lot of single family doors.
Tons of single family doors, mostly single family doors probably. And we're real estate investors ourselves.
Okay.
So we also own just under, I think, 30 doors ourselves.
And is it just Bowling Green, or you guys do in other areas?
Funny you should ask. When I first bought Almar about a year ago, I was super excited about branching out and expanding my area of service. And I saw Toledo as an awesome opportunity. I wasn't sure what sort of management there was up there. I heard there wasn't anything awesome, and I think we're awesome. So I was excited to take on Lucas County, and my attorney, who I adore, said, slow down, hold on, let's think this through. And I took one on as a trial run, and it's, as of today, not going super swimmingly. So we only service Wood County officially as of today. Well, I guess Henry and Hancock, I would Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Toledo market is a completely different market. So there's a lot of
Yep.
different things that we have to consider in doing that and how to serve the tenants and the owners properly. So,
Yeah. I mean, because response time and all that kind
Right.
of stuff.
I
Right.
love to
Plays
drive
a
by my
factor.
properties all the time and make sure lawns are mowed, windows are good, blinds are intact.
Yeah.
And I'm not able to give that level of service up in Lucas County, I feel like.
So when we
Yeah.
think about expanding, because Wood County is what we know, that's
Mhm.
easy. So it's easy to fill up Wood County as much as possible. And then going south to like Hancock, Henry, things like that, that starts to, it's still familiar, right? And it's still, you're used to those country drives, so you can still get out there within 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Toledo's a big city. I'm a country girl.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, really parts of like Toledo, I guess Toledo are kind of like the northern part of Wood County. So that's,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's opportunity up there.
Yeah, you cruise past
So-
Perrysburg and you're in South Toledo real quick, Maumee,
Yeah,
things
exactly.
like that. So, and that's where, the one she's referencing here is in the southern part of South Toledo there. So it's pretty close. It's not too far.
Yeah.
It's all right.
What is like your favorite part of the single family versus like a multifamily or a commercial? Is there pros and cons to each one?
Question. No one's ever asked that before. That's a great question. I love single family because of the low turnover.
Yeah.
Once you get a good family, a good home where they're happy and they're settled, they stay for a long time. You're able to build
Mhm.
relationships with them. You're able to pour into them and get to know them well, get to know their kids well. We have a candy jar at the office that the kids love coming and digging into. So I love single family for the low turnover.
Mhm.
I don't know, multifamily is kind of fun in our area because of the university. There's just always new faces and it's fun to meet the
Yeah.
students coming and going.
And it's a diverse crowd. You get a lot of different people.
Most of them are super nice, super sweet, thankful. A lot of times it's their first rental experience. So we love
Yeah.
to be, a good jumping point for that.
Mhm.
Kind of teach them the ins and outs. I feel like we're pretty gentle. So
Oh yeah, because it's kind of nerve wracking when you first
it is.
renting. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Being somebody that's, new into adulthood in that situation.
Mhm.
And then she gets a lot of international students. So you're not only are you new into adulthood, you're new
Yeah.
into a new country
Yeah.
and you have no idea how.
Yeah,
Things are gonna
I
go,
didn't think
so.
about that. You have no idea what's like. It's like I'm in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
need a place.
Yeah.
It was so fun. We had a tenant the other day in a property that's going back to her country of origin. And she called and said, "How am I supposed to get to the airport?" And one of my office workers was like, hopped on the computer and said, "Well, here's the phone number here." And I said, "What? Are we a concierge service now?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" But it was so sweet. And like, that's
Yeah.
great that
Yeah.
awesome that she was able to help the girl out because she had no idea how she was going to get home at the end of her lease. So it was
Yeah.
cute that she was able to help her out and offer that good service.
Going above and beyond.
Yes.
Can't go wrong there. That's really above and beyond.
That really is.
What is how do you appeal to someone like if I own some property in BG, like what's your pitch to them to rent or to manage it for them?
Yeah, I think that it's different based on the situation.
Mhm.
The easiest way to explain it is when you're tired, when you have that rental property that maybe that you purchased was your first home, you graduated, you moved up,
Yeah.
you got your second home maybe with your family, and you didn't know what to do, and it got stuck being a rental, or
Yep.
somebody in the family passed away and left a home to another family member, and they get, what do we do? Do we offload it or do we rent it? That's the easiest way to explain it to somebody is when you're tired of fixing leaky toilets in the middle of the night and getting those phone calls, give us a call. But I think it goes even further than that because we're able to, a lot of people right now it's hot for millennials and things like that to get into the real estate rental market.
Yeah, it's in everybody's Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. It's all
Investor.
over.
TikTok.
Yeah. So, but we make it passive completely. So those people that do want a couple, she's got a lot of out of town investors that will call and have never been to Bowling Green. She's got some that visit just to see, see the town and see their place. But she's got a lot of investors that she's never met and people that have never been here that just worked out, that the numbers made sense. And, when you got somebody else to completely take care of it and all you got to do is once a month check your bank account statement to make sure the deposit was made. We automate it and make it truly a passive, unit. And when we jumped into it, it wasn't that way. We fell into, accidentally bought 12 doors and we're, unthawing pipes in the wintertime
Fuck
ourselves
through
with
it.
with hair dryers and trying to figure it out. And then, you know, with this experience, it's definitely helped that. And it just owning this company and owning real estate, although they are the same under our family umbrella, we treat the real estate that we own just as if somebody else is managing it. It's just part of her workload during the day now.
Yep.
For somebody else, right? So it takes the stress out of it completely for us. There is a little bit more added just because we know it's ours, so we want to make sure that.
Yeah.
But
every owner has different levels of standards.
Yeah, it automates it. So, you know, if you're getting into real estate or you're getting into investing, and whether you buy one single family or you buy a duplex, or you know you're able to buy an apartment complex, we make it easy. It's
and we often pay for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually
true.
people that are self-managing are so below market rent and they just don't even realize it. They've got like a 2-bedroom that they have had the same tenants in for so long that they're paying $500 a month. And I come in and I'm like, whoa, this is a $900 a month unit. I will more than pay for myself. And you're going to get so much more profit in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Like,
because they just get complacent in it and they just don't know. And I know. I have 415 properties, so I know where the rent should be and where it shouldn't be and what's too much, and it's always changing. And I think that I play pretty safe within those always changing numbers. I try to be fair and good, but still work for my owner's bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. I mean, if you can if you're making an offer or you're paying for yourself, it's like an offer. Like, you can't. It's hard to refuse an offer like that. I mean,
how about I make you more money and
I'll do.
You pay me, but you don't even feel it. Yeah.
You'll get more money and I'll do all the work.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the pain of I like that pitch of the well, when you're tired and your leaky toilet, you have to fix that.
Yeah, it's 2
a.m.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah, and you get that phone call and you got to go. But
so tell me a little bit about like how you got into this whole thing. So back before you purchased Almar, you're obviously dabbling in real estate and or owning some units, some doors.
Yeah.
You got some doors at your house,
we do have.
We didn't at that time.
Yeah, no.
So like, what made you like look into real estate in the beginning?
Oh gosh, I have no idea what drove me to real estate. I grew up in family business, so I think that entrepreneurial blood is running through me, through and through, from every angle. So I think that it was probably just something that was inevitable. But I never truly felt. I have kids, and I feel like being a mom was truly my one true calling in life. He worked his tail off for the first 10 years of our relationship, so I could stay home and raise the kids. I was still active in real estate, did referrals. I did a little bit of selling for the first 5 or 6 years probably, but then took a step back and really focused on the kids and the family. And then this, honestly, like COVID happened, and the previous owner of the company, there were some personal things going on that she couldn't be in the office as often, and you're required to have a legal or a licensed person in the office.
Okay.
And I was her backup licensed person because I was home with the kids, not doing much. So she called and she said, "Hey, I need some help." And I was like, great, the kids are homeschooling because of COVID. So lucky for you, I'm available. And then like it truly, we were actually just, a deal went south when I was selling that really just broke my spirit for sales.
Grinded your gears.
It was it just crushed me. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not selling anymore. This is I can't do this anymore. So I put my license with the management company and just said, call me when you need me to help cover the office while you go to lunch or whatever you're doing.
Okay.
And at the time, like that was devastating to me that like I was putting real estate on the back burner because of the situation. But man, what a crazy door it opened for me, because we literally never imagined property management. I mean, it's a gritty job. I got berated today on the phone for like 20 minutes. It's a thankless job. It's constant fire putting out, problem solving. And not always, sorry. It can be. Today was a hard day, so you're getting me at the end of a hard day, but it can be rewarding too, I suppose.
I can definitely see how it's a thankless job.
I'm a landlord. Who likes a landlord?
Yeah, everybody, you're like, them guys and Almar,
It's awful.
I mean, I can see how it could be like that for sure.
It's tough, so give us a 5-star review. It's hard.
But that's, when we took over the company, when she came to us and first hit us with this idea, like, hey,
such a joke. We were like,
hey, I'm thinking.
Okay.
And then she, I sell cars, and she came and bought a car, and she's like, hey, I was talking to Ashley at the office the other day, and I really think you guys are going to be perfect to buy my company. And I'm like, oh, okay.
We think so too. We have money.
I think we'll be perfect too. But we kind of started kicking it around. We didn't want to get our hopes up because, things can happen. But we were kind of tossed around the ideas like, oh, well, if this were a possibility, what would we do? Like, how could we make this better? And our lives are right, wrong, or indifferent. Business kind of, because of probably the way that she grew up, is kind of a part of our daily conversation at the dinner table. When we wake up in the morning while we're watching Below Deck Mediterranean, we're kind of just kicking around ideas. The kids are in there like, oh my gosh, we're talking about work again.
They never stop.
Yeah.
They don't. They get so upset.
Yeah. Do you seriously take us to dinner to talk about work? And we're like, yeah, this manager
Works
meeting, we wrote this off.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's part of, and we do it kind of that way. So, it's one of those things that we thought about, like, well, what can we do different? And it was just simple things. Add a little bit of technology, add a little bit of grace and customer service, right? Just tiny bits that we didn't think, oh, we could tweak that a little bit. We could tweak that a little bit. But it was our main focus to get in there and kind of change. Not that the business had a bad reputation, but it's, landlords are landlords, and sometimes they catch a rep that they don't deserve, and
negativity spreads a lot faster than a good experience.
Yeah, for sure. So, and we're not even the landlord. I mean, we're managing for the owner,
and the owners aren't leaving me 5-star reviews about how awesome I am going out to bat for them. It's the tenants that are tearing me up occasionally, but I maintain a pretty good.
Yeah, but that was our focus. Was how can
it kills me.
Yeah, she gets emotionally involved.
I get so upset.
But that was our focus. How can we tweak this just a little bit? And in just a few small things, like the trajectory has completely changed. So I think in the community, I mean, it's definitely a conversation that, things are mixed up a little bit. What's going on over at Almar,
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool to hear those. That's rewarding.
That's the rewarding part. Yes.
So how has it been working together? Like, obviously, family business, you guys are working together. You guys, it's great you're talking about business. You like that, passionate about it. So that's good. So it's not one person driving the conversation. Like, hey, we got to talk about this, if you're both into it.
We're both super into it.
So how has that changed your relationship working together now? And then also, like, how does that working together as far as good things, bad things? Anything on your mind?
One thing, I think that it's important. Our personalities are completely different. Ashley mentioned that 12 years ago we got our real estate license. That's when we met, and I think that it was very apparent right off the rip that we weren't anywhere close to the same, which is cool, right? But in my career, I was a sales manager, so I had to manage people, and one of the things that I always tried to focus on was the individual personality, how they react to things, whether it's praise, whether it's the way that you have to reprimand them, things like that, things that you have to say, the way that you have to approach each individual person.
Oh, everybody's different,
right? So the way I'm going to talk to you, whether you did a good job or a bad job, is completely different than the way I'm going to talk to her. And I think those dynamics you have to have I think in relationships with a spouse or your kids, I think you need to understand that.
Yeah.
I think it's helpful to understand that for sure.
Yeah.
And we try, there's days that we get frustrated with each other, that she's frustrated with the way I am and I'm frustrated with the way, because she's 0 to 100 and I'm usually like super laid back and chill. Maybe.
I don't know about super laid back and chill, but I definitely get
so
hot quick.
Chill. I'm so laid back and chill.
I get hot quick and I freak out.
Yeah, I analyze things in my brain. I get analysis by paralysis, and she's just like,
I do it out loud.
Yeah, she's like, we said we're gonna do this. Here's how you get there. This is where we're going. We're going now. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's like 8 steps to get there. We need to figure out how we're gonna do the first step first. And she's like, no, I'm getting to the end.
Let's go.
We got to go.
We're gonna solve this right now.
And that's how it is every day. So that's good then. That's a good dynamic. There's a lot of me saying, all right, let's just go and trust in the process. And I think maybe sometimes, not very often, but sometimes she's like, all right, let's slow this down a little bit and think about it, but not very often.
I feel like that's happened like once. No.
Sometimes.
We communicate super well, I think, which has been a learned process over the years.
Yeah.
I'm super direct, to the point, blunt. I'm trying to get to my next spot fast, so I don't have a lot of time for niceties and sugarcoating. And he's sometimes can have hurt feelings easily, and I'm a little harsh on occasion. So we've learned to. He knows that about me now. I know
nut
that
the
about
fuck
him.
up and just.
I try. He
Pull up your
mostly does that.
bootstraps.
He mostly does that, but I also try to be like, hey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice, but I don't have time for that right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
On to
if
the next
you're
thing.
in the
Yeah.
wake. Yeah. He knows I still love him at the end of the day, and we're doing business the next day.
It's almost,
Yeah.
like with your kids, right? They know what buttons not to push sometimes. And over time, you learn what buttons not to push. And, when something's going this way, you react to it and just say, cool, let's ride and we'll figure it out later. Even if it's not the way you would have decided, you would have jumped in. But
Yeah.
But like she said, we communicate. We talk a lot
all the time
about
I talk
life
in
and
my
business. And it's true.
All the time.
We take walks together, right?
We do. We walk
and try and
every night.
unwind.
Well,
and
how's that been, taking walks? Have you always done that? Is that something you started recently? Or?
We've done it often.
We've
for
done it a
quite
lot,
while.
but we didn't used to like decompress from the day over it. Like now
Okay.
it'll be like almost like a walking meeting. Like, what did you encounter today? What did I encounter today? What problems do we have to solve together today? This is what I'm super freaked out about. What do you got for me? And he's super good. This is also why we work so well together. I get to the cliff and I'm ready to jump. I'm like, why did we do this? I'm so stressed out. People are so mean. And I just am not cut out for this. And he's like, it was one phone call. Like, it was 20 minutes of your day. You're fine. It's a nothing tomorrow. The person was wrong. It's fine. Even if the person's not wrong, he always tells me they are. Which I don't know if that's good or
She's
bad,
always
but I
right.
appreciate it. So our walks are great. We just decompress from the day and get a different. I think it's great to be able to bounce ideas off of somebody else that knows you well, knows how you react, knows how you feel. He knows how bad it guts me when these things happen. So he's pretty good at trying to build me back up and help me navigate it better next time.
That's good.
Yeah, like she mentioned, I'm at home. I'm probably the more emotional person, but in business, I'm like emotion doesn't involve. I'm not. I can take that out
I
of
would
it.
say that's right. And I'm a little opposite.
Yeah. So yeah,
little
exactly.
opposite.
Like you get emotional about the things at work, at home.
Yeah, don't come for my business.
Right.
I feel
So
like I built a good thing.
That balance is. I have a different.
That's been learned since you guys just started working together with Almar.
No,
Tell me
I would
about
say
it.
that's just. I would say that's just my experiences. I mean, she was a stay-at-home mom, so you got to deal with 3 kids all day.
Oh yeah, that's fun. That's a hard job.
Yeah.
That's what my wife's doing right now.
Yeah.
So.
It's tough.
So she's dealing with that. And then in the meantime, right, I was working full time and she was doing odd jobs here and there. So she was getting out there in the workforce, doing different things at the time, to make sure that the bills were paid and
It was mostly for travel hockey.
I'm
travel.
sure travel hockey. can
I was
be
mostly
a little
working to pay for
pricey.
travel hockey.
So I made sure the bills were paid. She paid for travel sports and so we could eat.
Yes.
But yeah, the experiences that she got, the experiences that I got in the workforce, we just kind of married that together. And when we do those walks and those and things like that, it's exactly what she said. We'll be walking and it's just like, hey, all right, what'd you do today? What'd you do today? And I have to, because I know a lot happens in her day.
Yeah. Yep.
What else
I'll be
happened
like
today?
nothing.
What else? Yeah.
I doubt that.
She'll give me like
He
one
says
thing.
I doubt that.
She'll give me like one thing. All right. What else happened today? Well, nothing really.
And then
Okay,
it's
cool. And then another block, and I'm like, well, there had to be like something else, right? And she's like, oh yeah, there was can you believe this? Bitch?
Those bitches do be getting me sometimes.
So then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now we got something to talk about, work through, and I worked in the office today, which I don't do. This was I don't do. So
we're
but
turning 50 properties in like 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So it's huge.
so the
Busy
ladies
time.
were, there was a situation. She walked out of the room. She said, "You guys figured out. The
I trust
office
you.
ladies
You'll
figured
handle
out."
it.
And then they asked my opinion, and so I hit them. And she comes back and she's like, "You're not asking advice from the new guy, right?" And I'm like, "No." This is my first rodeo. I hear it all day long.
We walked lots of times and heard this story, babe. I know the story.
Yeah. So, but it's cool. We're abreast to everything that's going on. And like she said, I kind of help bring her emotions back when she's, And
yeah, I mean, I think I always like hearing stuff like that because there's always like one little thing people do like that's different because not a lot of people take a walk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're always they come home and they might just be in the phone or
drink
on the
or
TV,
whatever,
grab some beers and they're home. Maybe they're not really home, but like something like that, I think is important for sure in a relationship to be able to spend extra time. And then also, especially you're doing business together and it's like the age of having a meeting. Everybody's always having a meeting. We gotta have a meeting. And, we have meetings at Technic Roofing, but sometimes it's, if you just take a, drive to a job with somebody, like that's
quick
better than having a meeting.
Yeah.
Right. So
for sure.
I think it's a lost, like people just don't think that, that's a good thing to do or that's productive, even though you're just taking a walk. It could be the most productive thing you do all day.
Oftentimes.
Usually is. Yeah.
You could solve more in a walk than you could in 10 meetings.
Yeah. For sure.
I just like a 5-minute roundup at the start of the day at the office too. I'm not big on like the big formal meetings. Like a 5-minute, like, hey, what do you got? Let's do it.
Yeah.
5 minutes in and out.
Problems. Let's solve them.
Yeah. What are you working on? What can we offer you? And move on. Yeah.
So you've grown up, Ashley, in the family businesses, right?
So many of them. Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. How was that growing up? What experience did you have? Things you've seen?
So many family businesses. So my maternal grandfather owned BG Quality Motors, which is now Halleck Auto Sales.
Okay.
So he owned a car lot. I spent snow days there when my mom had to go to work and I had to have somewhere to go. He was kind of a one-man show from what I remember. He had a guy in there that sold garage doors, and then he was the only guy. He might have had 1 or 2 sales guys, but it was a pretty casual atmosphere from what I recall. He also owned a farm, and the farm was a family business. I didn't realize it at the time. I just thought that's what you did at the farm. But he was like, well, I'm sure like you guys like helped. And I said, yeah, I held things and corralled hogs and pigs, and my grandma held them while things happened. And yeah, it was a family business. We stacked hay and all that jazz. So that was a family business.
Didn't realize everybody didn't stack hay and stuff at the time.
Yeah, I just thought, well, they had a pool. So we would go Saturdays at the pool, but we would corral hogs first. And I just thought that was the pre-pool party.
Entry, that was the entry to the pool.
Yes.
Get my
ticket. It was fun. I'm out at the barn. I'm like hanging. I would bring friends. It was great. I don't know. I thought it was normal. My great aunt owned the French Knot, which is now H&R Block, downtown Bowling Green. My family still owns the building. So I grew up going to art classes there, and my great cousin, I guess it would be, taught art classes and worked there as well. So they were involved in that. There was that family business, and then her sister, so my grandma, owned Collegiate Connection at 531 Ridge Street over by campus. We sold sorority, fraternity, and BGSU apparel and such. I have the most experience with that family business. I grew up working there. I worked there all through high school, all through college. I was slated to take it over, and then had a baby instead. So life took a little bit of a derail and got me off track for that. Which looking back again, like it's great. It's probably exactly what was supposed to happen. That business is no longer a business. The internet made that hard, I think.
I think so, yeah. It's commoditized, that kind of stuff.
But I spent time with my grandparents. We went on cruises for like conferences and stuff. Went to Atlanta trade shows. And my grandma and grandpa, paternal, worked together in that business. My grandpa worked in the back sewing the letters. My grandma was up front running the cash register and the money and stuff like that. So I grew up watching the dynamic of a husband and wife working together, and they did it. They certainly didn't always get along, but
not all the time.
No, not all the time. So I think I had a really realistic expectation of it. I mean, they would go home upset with each other sometimes. And we, again, excellent communication. Like, we are super open with my concerns with him working at Almar and his concerns with just how everything is going to go and how it's going to fit, how it's going to affect my staff. We have a really great staff, and I don't want our dynamic as husband and wife to have any sort of effect on my employees.
It can get real gray area.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
how that goes.
a concern. So I'm trying to have clear lines for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that ever being a play for my grandparents I don't really ever remember them arguing, but they had to. Like, I know things went wrong and I know they were expensive mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So there had to be problems, but my dad has owned lots of businesses. I've been mildly involved in a couple of them. Like we mentioned, we successfully ran a bar into the ground once. That was a family business that we were excited to be a part of, and it didn't turn out how we had hoped. We've had lots of learning experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I really do have just entrepreneurial blood, I think.
Yep.
So many businesses that I've grown up in.
So you worked with your dad for how many years did you work
My
with
dad?
your dad? Yeah, your dad. Yeah.
Well, he still is involved in one of our investment properties. He would like to be more involved in our investment properties, I think, but we do business differently. He's looking for instant cash flow. We're looking for long-term investment. So our ideals in investing don't exactly align at the moment. But we do have 12 doors with him. And he gets super uncomfortable with it because he didn't grow up in family business, which we also talk about all the time. He's like, oh my gosh, you and your dad, like, you just had a blowout argument. And I'm like, yeah, he's coming over for dinner tomorrow. Why is this a problem for you? It's fine. Like, it happens. We love each other and it's okay. But me and my dad are super close, and
super alike.
We're super alike. And then I have a son that's
I think
super alike
I think that's
too.
the reason for the blowout arguments more than anything else.
Well, I can like sync up with that because me and my dad, we have arguments, you know, and then like I still see him. I mean, like the same night even sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
You know, but it's just different. It's like then if you worked at a different company, you know, it'd be weird to argue with the guy that's and then go see him. I don't know. It's like, I feel that's what I think sometimes. Like sometimes when things are hard in a family company, I think like maybe if it's a different company, it wouldn't be hard, but I think the problems might not rise to the surface as fast if it's not family.
Different problems, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be different problems, and maybe like no one would say anything,
right?
You know, but then sometimes when it's family, you don't want to say stuff too.
Yeah.
So it can be hard and tricky because you might not want to hurt anyone's feelings or something like that.
We talked about that. I'm not overly concerned with feelings, which I think is part of the problem as well.
Yeah, maybe somebody.
She admitted it.
I did admit it. I am part of the problem. Yeah, my dad is a super soft, giant teddy bear. He's the sweetest guy in the world. Heart of gold. Wants to help everybody. No, he just wants to like give everything away to everybody. And I'm like, listen, we cannot do this. Stop the madness. Stop it.
Dude, take it easy.
How have you not learned your lesson yet? No more.
He's got a bad ticker.
I am. I love him so much. He's great.
Such a teddy bear and rips him to shreds.
I really do. It's terrible. I love you so much, Dad. Yeah, he's my biggest fan. Well, my mom's a super huge fan too. But my dad, entrepreneurial again, like huge fan. He helps out at Almar. You know, we've got turns going on right now. He'll swing through and get keys. He was just up yesterday doing some plaster work up at our property to repair that. My daughter cleans for us when we do our turns. We really are like all around through and through for as long as I can remember. I have been immersed in family business, and I've rained it down on this poor, unfortunate soul as well. No, it's not all bad. It's good.
You got anything comes to mind that maybe was like a tough dynamic or something you had to work through that someone might be going through that's similar, or like any advice with like communicating? So like taking a walk, I think that's a good piece of advice for someone that's, or not even a walk, like I said, it could be a drive, right?
Yeah.
Or something like just to be with each other, because in those moments you might just talk more than you would in passing. Honestly,
I think just like a rapid forgiveness when it comes to family. Although I'm pretty like, don't be too naughty or I'll cut you off because I'm real mean. But for the most part, I feel like rapid forgiveness is great. You love each other at the end of the day, and it helps to know that everyone has good intentions. Like I know that my dad's not looking to lose money on his investments. I know he's not looking to be taken advantage of all the time. He's just a really nice person that wants to help people, and gets exhausting sometimes for me. And he forgives me for being frustrated by that, and I forgive him for, I don't know, being soft.
I mean, intent's a big thing, right? I mean, as long as you know the intention, where the intentions are, I mean, how could you be
right?
So you can't hold a grudge. I mean, they're just trying their best, and that's just how it is. I mean, that's how they are.
Yeah, and he absolutely wants what's best for me always, and my family, and himself, and the people around him. And family business is great.
Yeah, I think you gotta. I mean, communication. We obviously talked about that. That's important. A clear understanding of what's going on and how things could get. I think people jump into, and we did too. Jumped into businesses and investments that we weren't really.
We failed.
Yeah, we weren't really clear on what we expected from each other. We weren't clear on what we expected from the business. We weren't clear. The open-mindedness and the understanding, I think, is super important. You kind of got to swallow your pride and check your ego. I mean, there's lots of times that I think I'm doing something. I think that my way would be the best way, and I've been proven wrong, believe it or not. And so now I just have to understand. I just have to, rather than want to, because for a lot of people, we want to be right. We got this big, grandiose idea. We want to.
Ego's a big thing,
and
sure.
I think that you just have to make sure that you might be right, but let's talk it out. Let's get through it. Let's figure it out. Let's be open about how this is going to happen, and just communicate through the whole process.
Once a decision's made, everybody's on the same
once a
page.
decision's made and money's made, then everybody's on the same.
Then the money is
Then everybody's on. No, yeah. Once a decision's made,
I think that's a good statement, because like sometimes you got to prove like, no, this was right.
Yeah.
See,
You do.
Yeah,
so.
But once you decide which way you're going to go, you need to be on the same page and forge forward. Whether it, and like she said, we failed, and we're okay with that. It sucked It sucked at first.
Yeah,
it sucked going through that. But just like everything in life, it's part of the learning process. As long as you know what happened and how you got to where that was, and you know how not to get there again, the next step's going to be even easier, and it's going to go in a completely different direction, and it's just going to be positive, and you're going to fail at that next step probably, and then you just need to make sure that you have the fortitude to continue forward, and not give up, and know that trying and failing is just part of the process, because you're going to get there eventually if you continue to be focused on what the goal is.
Yeah. I'm starting to see how Tony said he was the more thoughtful, like he's sitting back here giving us some lessons, man. I'm learning a lot from Tony. He's telling me all these things, he's calculated.
Super
this man.
Awesome person.
Awesome guy.
Thought myself right out of it. That's why.
We talk about that all the time. Like, I make super fast decisions and then just figure it out from there. And he thinks it to death and is still.
I've probably had like 10, $100 million ideas in my life that
he's still
threw away.
He's still thinking about them.
One thing could be wrong with this.
Yeah, he's still thinking about it. And meanwhile, I see a property and I'm like, let's buy it. And he's like, we don't have any money. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Exactly.
And look.
Done figured it out.
I done figured it out. Yep. Quick decision making.
People that are really successful make quick decisions.
Yeah.
So they, they think about it, obviously, but they make the decisions faster than most people make.
Yeah. I feel like I have the intuition. It's just the confidence in jumping to that next thing. So I know it's one of my biggest weaknesses, and it's something that recently I've put a lot of effort into, because I see the results of.
Ooh, that's what I was gonna say. Results will.
He bought a van the other day.
I did. I bought a van.
He barely even talked to me about it, and he bought this van, and I was like, "Oh, we didn't have to think about it for a month. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
good.
It was great.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out, and we'll sell it if it doesn't work, right? Like, you figure it out."
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the kind of attitude I have. I mean, but like my other family members, they have more of the like, this is gonna take some time. We gotta figure this out, and I'm like. I already know, guys. Let's
figure it out later. Let's go.
let's hire the guy. Let's do this, So, but like, it's good to have the balance too. I think that's really important.
There is good balance.
Because
except he slows me down.
Probably true.
Balance is super good. I could have made some pretty reckless decisions if he wasn't around to say, hold on.
For sure. It's good to have that balance. So looking forward for you guys, what's like the 5-year, 10-year vision for Almar? Like, what's the ideal place for you to be? I mean, do you have other ambitions, different types of industries you want to get into, anything like that on the radar?
I don't want to roll anyone under the bus, so you can answer this one. What are your 5-year plans for life?
So much like everything, Ashley doesn't really have
I don't really
5-year
do goals.
plans.
I don't really do goals. I just do.
She just
get up and do
does
it.
whatever presents itself.
Is there like a reason for it? You're just like, you're always just going operating.
No, you set goals and then you don't achieve them and then you feel like you failed. So I'm more of just a go get them kind of person, I guess. I don't know. I don't love the setting goals is fine. I think 5-year goals and things to strive for are healthy and good, but then you don't hit it and then you're like, oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to do that after all. And I'm like, no, man, try again tomorrow. Keep going.
Well, it could just be some people, they get overly ambitious, but that's good. Like you want to have big goals. I mean,
big goals are
great. You don't want to think small, right?
Aim for the moon, land at the stars. Isn't that how the saying goes?
Yes, definitely.
That's exactly.
And I just floor it to the moon. I don't even worry about anything else.
To the moon.
You've already passed the moon.
Yeah, I'm just going.
Stars aren't even an option.
Yeah, I don't know. Goals are weird for me. I just don't do that.
Yeah. So she just approaches the day and tackles it and
hopes for the best.
But yeah.
It's like a bulldog
mentality.
Wing
it and hope for the best.
But there are also so many curveballs during a day that when we do sit down and try and develop goals for the business, let's say we try and get on the same page, the very next day it seems like something comes up and there's a monkey wrench thrown in it so big that we have to pivot anyways.
Yeah.
Cool. Like we super wanted to expand into Lucas County. Like that was on our long-term ideas list. I do have a dream board. It's not a goal board, it's a dream board. But Lucas County, like expanding was part of it, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like I simply changed my mind, and I don't want to feel like I failed because. But
you just learned new information. And now you're like, well, this isn't a good decision.
Yeah.
So I mean, I want to say that's not achieving your goal. That's just like, I just didn't know this.
That goal is terrible. I'm taking it off of my board now.
We'll turn around and go south.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we just pivot.
We have to
pivot a lot. Because of the nature of our business and because we deal with so many different vendors and things like that, we see lots of different opportunity within the scope of what we deal with on a daily basis that we feel like eventually we would be able to better serve our clients, the owners, and our customers, the tenants, better by bringing that in-house. So there's a lot of different, in-house.
Well, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
maintenance and
that's only the natural progression of a company like your guys' selves.
Right.
Yeah.
It just presents itself every day.
I mean, because we work with a lot of property management companies, being roofing. Some are
we don't want to be roofers.
Some are
we'll still use you. We're not roofing anything.
I could see you don't want to get into that. But they're multi-state. They got place. I mean, tons and tons of places these people own, and they have in-house a lot of stuff, but they do still have vendors. I mean, obviously you need help, and you could have a vendor for the same thing you do in-house, but you just need extra help on a property. It doesn't mean you don't use them.
Yeah. Two furnaces go out in the same day, and you got one guy. I mean, and it's minus 20 in Ohio, so you need two.
Yeah, you got to better serve your customers. I think that's definitely a natural progression of your company.
Yeah, so that's probably I would say our 5-year plan is to get, our
sales maybe.
Yeah, and
it's just in-house. We don't plan to ever have signs in yards or anything like that, but being able to offer selling and buying services to my investors, I mean, what a dream. I look back to the days that I was in real estate. I have 106, I think I said is what I think I'm at today. 106 investors at my fingertips that I'm not even tapping into in terms of, do they want to buy? Do they want to sell? I have an idea of who wants what, but there's not really anything on the market at the moment. But being able to tap into that and offer sales in-house to my current owners and potentially my tenants. I mean, eventually tenants want to be homeowners too, and helping them achieve those dreams and goals would be, that would be,
Well, yeah, you have the market.
Rewarding.
the market's right there for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have all of these buyers and sellers at my fingertips. So
and these people already trust you to.
Yeah.
They know you, they trust you.
They're already, they're hands off already. I mean, it's a good service to offer.
And they're investors. They're looking to buy and sell all the time. That's their thing. Clearly, they're with us. So, and she's already closed a lot of deals that way, just accidentally pairing people up. Like, hey, I heard hey, you stopped by and you mentioned you're looking at duplexes. I got a guy that's interested, and he's like, oh yeah, let's go look at him. Can we look at him tomorrow? And it's like, oh sure. And then she accidentally sets up
I think
$10
I'm probably
million
close to I think I'm probably close to $3 or $4 million in sales this year, like literally without trying.
More than she sold combined.
Never even came close to that in the 6 years I sold real estate. Yeah,
all about that them relationships that you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, just having the networking set up, right? Knowing, and like she said, knowing who wants what, and pairing the right people together. And the more people that you help achieve their goals, the more you're going to.
Sounds like Ashley's a connector. She's the
There you
connector.
Connecting
That's
people.
true.
They say like there's like the degrees, like everybody's 5 degrees away from someone, but
Yeah.
really it's
Kevin Bacon specifically.
yeah, Kevin Bacon. Yes. But then like also I've heard like everybody's a lot further away than they think. It's just most people know the same person that knows like
So
there's
you're
like
only really two?
yeah, you really only it's just like one guy is connecting so many people to Kevin
Gotcha.
Bacon. And then the guy above him connects a lot of guys like him or gal, of course, that connects people to Kevin Bacon. So like there's
Sounds
one,
like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Sounds like, and then up at the top is Kevin Bacon. And
Yeah.
he's selling stuff.
But then
to
there's
these
Kevin
people.
Bacon.
I don't feel like he's maximizing his opportunity there,
No,
but
yeah,
he should
maybe
You could definitely do some MLM marketing.
Yeah, he
stuff.
should.
for sure.
Get himself some Scentsy.
You're the connector. You're the connector. How do you know Kevin Bacon?
I probably do.
I
I just need
bet.
to put some feelers out there.
Yeah, you probably do.
I
You know?
probably do. I'm going to look into that. Podcast number 2 with Tony and Ashley. I'm going to let you know how I know Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Anything that's worked good for you here recently, or it could be just like something you just got into, like even like a show or anything that you guys are your interest, new interest or anything like that you're into right now.
Well, I think that first of all,
Super into work.
for me personally, getting back into physical fitness, first of all, for me has been, once you turn 40, those days are behind you. You feel like sometimes, and the dad bod they're trying to glamorize that, and you're like,
Everybody
"Oh,
tries to
yeah,
make it awesome,
I have
right?
the dad bod. But I think there's a lot of things that were lost in the time that I was fit into the time that I wasn't. Not just in my own physical fitness, but just in my mental fitness. And for me, I've always been a person that tries to read a lot, tries to listen to books a lot, listens to a lot of podcasts, trying to always suck in information to think about, because like I said, I don't do anything with that information. I just think about it a lot. But I'm always trying to learn at every opportunity that I can. And any job that I've done, I've always tried to, whether it was sales or this or that. But I think for me recently, I realized that my mind is a lot clearer to be able to tackle all these different things, to be able to communicate properly, to be able to get out there and take problems head on like Ashley does. By that just regimen of waking up in the morning and going to the gym, and it sucks and I hate it and it's hard. But in those moments, I just try and tell myself I'm going to be better in a couple minutes, right?
Yep.
So like
They're like 40 minutes long. Those workouts are. It's not a couple of minutes.
Yeah, but
they're very hard.
I feel like I try and tell myself in that situation, if I can push through this, I can push through anything, right? I'm not a Navy SEAL or anything like that, but those guys can clearly do.
Not sure where they're at.
But I'm sure that they have the same thought process, right? If
Yeah.
I can just get through this 10 minutes in 50-degree water, I can get through anything. So I think
incrementally break it up.
Right.
Think about it like that.
So like I've been trying to get back to that in me personally, to just shore up, because my mind does move a lot. And I think that by doing that, I'm a lot clearer, and a lot more. I wear out all my nervous energy in the day real early,
I better go tomorrow.
and then I'm prepared after that. Everything after that is easy.
You just worked out real hard, so now nothing else can be that hard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people say like that's why they started working out, and also like a lot of people I feel like self-limit themselves on what they can make. They cap themselves because they think they're only worth that much, right?
Mhm.
And some people I've talked to that started working out, like they started making more money,
Mm-hmm.
and
Productive.
I think it's because they feel like they're worth more now,
Mm-hmm.
because like their self-worth, they feel like they're worth more, and then they go out and they make more money.
Right.
So I mean, not that you start working out, you're gonna make more money, but for some people, I think it's a big breakthrough.
I think there's a big correlation. I mean, just
Yeah.
in confidence and things
Mhm.
like that. And like I said, once you've conquered something at 6 a.m., I mean, 7 a.m.'s a breeze,
Yeah.
right?
8 a.m. is your oyster.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I think the confidence that you can get just from knowing that you accomplished something, whether it's the way you look or you feel you look, or the way you feel, or just knowing that you just carried some heavy shit for a long period of time, and nobody else did that this morning.
And so, like, do you run?
I don't.
Okay.
I try not to.
I'm not a big running guy. I don't like it, but like when I run sometimes, like just like I feel like your mind's actually clear. You know,
Yeah.
It's just like and I've also read that running is a little run or workout even as well. Like it's helpful to your mind, like sleep is, because you're so focused on one task that you're not getting pulled in so
All
many
over the
directions that it like resets your brain a little bit.
Right.
So I think that's also a good thing too.
Yeah.
What about you, Ashley?
What
it's
shows
my
you
turn?
into?
Anything you're into right now?
Yeah, so I actually, since he did so good, I had a minute to think about it. So I've been working out with him as well. Not as often as him. I think he hits 4 or 5 workouts a week. Is that what you're at? I'm like super excited if I get 3. 2's good. This week I'm doing like none. I agree. Working out is awesome. It just makes you feel accomplished in the morning, starts your day off right, all of that. But in the last 6 months, I would say I've been super invested in not shows, but just education and property management. We didn't have, sorry, it's work related.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, that's your life, right?
It really is right now. Maybe forever. We'll see. But we didn't know what we didn't know. I think you mentioned earlier. We flew out to Las Vegas to a conference, and we just learned it was just like, whoa, we don't have any idea what we're doing. This is crazy. We're so far behind the industry norm.
Yeah.
We're so far behind the times in sleepy old Bowling Green. So it was super awesome. We've put some other conferences on our schedule because we got so much out of it. It seriously improved our business. So investing in education. We're members of National Association of Property Managers, and being involved in education, bettering our business, making sure we know what's right, what's wrong. I've been super interested in that lately. I asked him to look the other day to find some other NARPM classes that I could take to make sure that we're upholding all of those standards. So that's the professional side. And I love Below Deck. Below Deck Med, Below Deck Down Under. I love those big mega yachts, man. One day I am just like gonna spend
Vacation
it all
on a mega
on
yacht.
a week on a mega yacht. It just looks like the time of my life. So we do love that show. After our walk, we watch a lot of Below Deck.
That's awesome.
A
I mean,
lot.
it's definitely a lot.
It's a little embarrassing. We love it.
Escapism. Got to get some of that.
Yeah.
Get away.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I love that answer, because when you start going to like conferences and stuff like that, it just makes your mind start running.
It
Like,
does.
how can I implement this? How can I change this? And if you don't do stuff like that, you're just the same person you were before, you know. And I mean, I love going to conferences. I'm a big conference guy.
So are we now.
You
He
take a
went-
couple days out of your life to go sit in a room with hundreds of like-minded people,
Yeah.
and the ideas that come out of that are just
And the networking's awesome. He like talks to a group of people that he not only made friends with, but like professional relationships with. And they talk like the third Wednesday or something like that about what they're using from the conference that they learned. And then, family business. So we got to travel together, which is so great.
that's awesome.
A little bit of a paid vacation.
and it was Vegas.
Yep.
It was in Vegas.
Oh,
So there was a
there you go.
black tie night. Like it was just an all around
Yep.
awesome adventure. And it felt really good to invest in us and our business and our mental health, being away for a minute.
Yep.
And knowing that my office was cared for. I really enjoyed the education and bettering our knowledge in our industry and networking
That's
with
awesome.
industry professionals. The official answer.
Well, it has been awesome. I'm glad you guys came, and
Thank you.
Thanks for
and
having us.
It's been a great night, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to next time.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching episode 3 of the Family Business Podcast. We'll see you back for episode 4.